Okay, it says I am live, so I am going to trust what the screen says. So, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or hello if you are watching this on the recording. This is our Sunday community meditation practice here at the Mindful Living Collective, and my name is Roger. And I want to welcome everybody from all over the world. We're getting some wonderful chats coming in. We have uh, Wales, South Wales, sunnyish South Wales. Um, cool. Love that. And we've got Foothill Ranch, California, and all kinds of places here. Bermuda. Lovely, lovely. I've been there. Lovely. And West Virginia. And go Orioles. And anything else. So feel free to chat in, say hello, mention where you're from. Meanwhile, I'll be starting with a little talk, and then we'll segue from there into a meditation practice. And then at the end, which will end at exactly 30 minutes past the hour, we can have maybe a little bit more chat. If you have questions or you want to try to engage in a little inquiry, that would be absolutely great. So we love the participation here. So the schedule that I have worked out here with the Mindful Living Collective is every third Sunday of the month, and it seems that every third Sunday of the month involves some kind of holiday observance. It could be a solstice, kind of near Christmas, or an equinox, as we just had last month. Right now, this third Sunday of the month, we have a convergence of Passover, Easter, and Ramadan, which I think is rather interesting that these three major world religions would have a convergence of high holy days at this time. So I wanted to introduce a little bit of the Buddhist perspective, some information from the Buddha Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and this also includes my own observations and my own opinions. So, and my opinions are not necessarily those of the Mindful Living Collective. They're just my opinions based on the study of the texts and my own practice. So, today's subject is actually rebirth. And this probably has more to do with the Easter tradition than Ramadan or Passover. But there is, I believe, and again, once again, these are my opinions. And there's a pretty vociferous argument going on, or has for a long time, between Buddhist scholars and monastics about this subject of rebirth. And so, my opinion about this is, first of all, that the Buddha did not teach reincarnation. We imagine, or there's a lot of thought that it's about reincarnation. I don't believe he taught reincarnation. I cannot find any specific texts in which reincarnation is mentioned. And the Buddha was a pretty smart guy and he knew his stuff. So if he's teaching something that involves the continuation of some kind of soul or personality or whatever that might be, this is really incompatible with one of the major teachings, which is anatta, not self, or emptiness of self. That all things are emptiness of self. How could there then be something that gets reincarnated? So, the way I look at it is not to use the word reincarnation, but rebirth. And to me, rebirth is that thing that happens to us all the time when a sense of I or me or mine arises. Myself, this sense of self is being reborn. And to me, this is very compatible with, for instance, the Four Noble Truths, in which it is said that suffering, the origins of suffering, is desire that gives rise to a sense of self. To me, also, this is compatible with another major teaching. It's the doctrine of interdependent co arising, or causes and conditions. And we all have causes and conditions in our lives that brought us to this moment, and that includes our actions. Now, there's this notion of karma. Karma is something that the Buddha did talk about. However, I also don't believe that karma is like some bank in the sky where your good deeds go, and so you get a reward from that. I see karma mainly as just action and reaction. If I drink a cup of coffee, I'm going to have the karma of feeling that coffee. So to me, it's something that happens in a lifetime. However, it can also continue past our individual lifetime and into collective lifetimes because we have all touched people in our lives. We have all affected people in our lives, one way or another. And as we know, there are people who have affected millions of people in their lives. And unfortunately, causing great harm sometimes. And this can reverberate across generations. For example, the World War II Holocaust, the Armenian genocide. These ripple through generations. And so that karma and that rebirth, I believe, is very real. So this is from the Buddhist monk Buddhadasa from the late 20th century. He interpreted the true meaning of rebirth as the re-arising of a sense of self or I or me, a kind of self-centeredness, which is, and here's his quote, a mental event arising out of ignorance, craving, and clinging. So once again, I find this to be compatible with the Buddha's teachings. If you believe in reincarnation, that's wonderful. Uh, Fine, not a problem. We all have our ways of moving through the world. I know that right now, what I am doing is helping others, hopefully, to be a little bit more at ease in their lives. And to me, this is the rebirth that's going to continue. I am going to continue through this lifetime and perhaps even into future lifetimes. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And don't worry about it too much because now we're going to practice it. Okay. You can actually notice rebirth as it's happening during your meditation practice. And if you're really listening deeply, you can actually notice rebirth happening almost constantly, almost in every moment. In fact, it could be said that every moment of our lives is a rebirth, or every in breath is a rebirth. And so we'll go into our practice now. Make sure that you are comfortable, that you're at ease. Maybe you're reclining, maybe you're sitting up, maybe you're walking, maybe you're making breakfast. It's okay. Just be yourself. Don't try to reach any particular states or feelings. Just allow what is here to be known as fully as possible. You'll get it. And so inviting ourselves into this practice, perhaps letting the eyes close gently, or perhaps gazing downward toward a blank space or out a window. Perhaps you are still in the body, perhaps you are walking or drinking tea. And sometimes when we stop and we allow ourselves to really feel the experience of being alive in this body, we can also feel this sense of rebirth in each moment. We may be able to sense a pulsating or a vibrating in the body. Each heartbeat is a rebirth. Perhaps we have tightness or tension or even discomfort in this body, perhaps from an injury, a chronic condition. Allowing these areas, as much as they are willing to soften, to let go. And throughout the practice, at any time, these discomforts could become reborn. And then as this happens, there could be reborn a sense of self, an I, me, mine that does not like this experience, or perhaps an I, me, or mine that is clinging to a pleasant experience. None of this is wrong. It's natural, it's human. These practices exist because we are human. In this body, we can feel the breath coming in, going out. Each breath becomes a rebirth, a reminder that this moment is the only moment we have. The mind will remain active, and in some cases, it might be very active. It might be taking us on a time travel adventure into the future or the past. Each thought could be seen as a rebirth. And you've probably had many of these thoughts before. Sometimes we will get caught up in these thoughts. We will become lost in them. This is not a mistake. This is not a failure. You've done nothing wrong. This is very natural. There is a moment, however, when we realize that we've been caught up in these thoughts. In that moment is a moment of rebirth, a rebirth of consciousness, of awareness, of mindfulness. Then we can direct this consciousness, this mindful awareness, toward any experience we're having right now. It could be sensations of breathing or external sensations such as the hands or sounds. And here we rest, being present with whatever is arising in this moment, with whatever is passing away in this moment, including the rebirth of self, the I, me, or mine that likes or doesn't like something. Just rest in this moment as fully as possible, and the world will offer itself to you. You don't need to try to figure any of this out because it's all right here for you. And so we'll continue through a period of silence together. And as we continue, when we notice that we are remembering perhaps a person, this is their rebirth within us. We can remember at any moment in our lives to be present with this moment, including the thoughts we're having, the memories, the rebirth of these experiences or these people in our minds. And we can also embody the experience of rebirth, feeling the cells in our body vibrating, moving, communicating with each other, being born, dying. And of course, there is the sense of self. And we can simply greet it, welcome it, not be alarmed by it and not be angry toward it, but with a friendliness. Isn't it wonderful that we have a sense of self? It may change. My sense of self now may not be the sense of self I have when I go to bed tonight. But isn't it wonderful that it's here? That all of this is here and that we can experience it together. And of course, taking all the time you need to transition from the practice in any way that you need to. Or if you're on to something interesting, just keep practicing. You don't have to stop just because the bell rings. So, a couple of things before we start looking at the chats. I have been offering a weekday meditation Monday through Friday for the past 25 months since the advent of COVID. And we call ourselves the COVIDian Sangha, at least at this point. If you would like the Zoom link to this meeting, which is 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, just write me at the email address on the screen and I'll send you that Zoom link. Okay, we'd love to have you. A number of the folks who are here come to our daily Sangha, and it's nice to see old friends and lovely to have new ones come in too. And there's Bobby. Bobby's one of our folks, and Eileen. Hi there. Good to see you. And in terms of the Mindful Living Collective, I offer these teachings freely. I'm here in service of the Dharma. And however, Mindful Living LA has expenses and so forth, and uh, scholarships and whatever. If you would like to donate to Mindful Living LA, here is their Venmo address. So you go to the business part of Venmo and put in Mindful Living LA, no spaces in there. Or you can also use PayPal, and here's that. Okay. So, any questions or any discussion that you would like to have regarding either what I was teaching earlier about rebirth or anything that happened for you in the practice that you'd like to bring forward? So, feel free to chat something in. I wish we could mic in, but I don't think that's possible given this platform. Um, yes, please do, Colette. Yeah, just write me and I'll send you the Zoom link. I don't like to put it here because it gets posted on social media, and this is, I just want it's an invitation kind of thing. Thank you, Sandy, and namaste to you too. So we've got another major tradition here of Hinduism right there. Bobby's just feeling peace. How's your foot, Bobby? Personal question to ask here, I suppose. Uh, Ardley, what a lovely name. Thank you. Yeah, I love the idea of rebirth. Yeah, thank you, Carl. Okay. And what else do we have here? Barbara, hello. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Glad you're feeling soothed. Matcha. Hello, Matcha. Hello. Good to see you. MBS. No, I get you now. Hi, Kelly. And Paula. Oh, so many of my friends are here. And Richard, all the way from Europe. Oh, lovely. Switzerland. Don Kirby. My goodness. Hello. Inguna. Oh my goodness, Inguna's here. Inguna Reinfeld from New York. She's my longtime Dharma teacher friend. Oh, Inguna, let's talk. Let's talk. Oh gosh, so lovely. Oh, this is so great to have you here from Cornwall, uh, Jerusalem, the UK, Winnetka, the, um, the exotic Winnetka, California, right down the freeway. Hey, Darla, happy Easter. Arcadia, again, just right down the freeway. More New York folks. Look at all this. Wow, we got a lot of stuff going on here. This is pretty crazy. Thank you, Rivka. Good to have you. And Rachel. Rachel is our Covidian Sangha web guru. Here, let me show you. This is the only one in existence, by the way. Can you see that? Ah, ha, 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 ha. I feel like Superman. Okay. Paula, impactful practice. So many emotions coming up today. The idea of rebirth opened up so much. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. And this is, this is something you can explore. I am not advocating any kind of dogma here. I am very anti-dogmatic in my teaching. And this is really just something that you can notice. You know, the Buddha only taught what he could experience. And I think he was asked once about reincarnation, and he said, I cannot teach this because I have not experienced it. In his original, when he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, the scripture says that uh, he watched thousands of lifetimes, but this doesn't mean thousands of actual lifetimes. This could be he suddenly realized, I'm a different person every day. I'm a different person with each breath. I have all these desires, and I have things that I want and don't want. And all of these giving rise to those countless millions of senses of self through a lifetime. Namaste, Sherry. Good to have you. Yes, thank you. Okay, so I guess we'll adjourn now. I will release you on your own recognizance and I'll get dressed. Shh, don't tell Elisha, okay? But anyway, thank you for being here today. I'll be back on the third Sunday next month. And in the meantime, thank you everyone at the Mindful Living Collective, at Elisha, of course, Stephanie, and Valerie, and everybody else, and all my friends over there. All right, thank you so much. I'm going to leave now and end the broadcast.